overkill is not really a word in the Nerd Parade vocabulary, as you can see. And I'm kind of proud of that. So that's something I'm proud of, and something that I subscribe to. No such thing as overkill in the Nerd Parade vocabulary. What is going on again, Nerd Paraders? Thank you guys so much for coming back to hang out with me today. We're playing some more ARK Survival Evolved. We're over here on the Ragnarok server, checking out the state of our base. So why don't we get to it? I want to thank you guys so much for coming to chill with me. We got a lot to show to you and a lot to talk about today, because we are going to be talking about the end of the season. It's upcoming. It's gotten to the point where most of us, as well as the other tribes on the server, are so built up to the point that it's like, okay, now we just wait for Purge Day, and a lot of the fun is starting to dwindle out. So this is usually around the time when we start to wind down the season and prepare for the finale, as well as the start of the next season. So we're planning on the finale, which we're actually preparing for now, and it has a lot to do with the basis of this video. We're preparing for the finale episode on August 19th, Saturday, Purge Day, August 19th, entire server versus Nerd Parade, alliance up, all 10 people in the Nerd Parade tribe, all other 60 people on the server, 60 plus with whitelisting, come in and hit the Nerd Parade base. I'm very excited for it. But we're going to talk about the improvements that we've done to the base in preparing for that. I am Nick, guys. This is Nerd Parade. Welcome to the channel, and thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. All right, I'm going to try not to give away too much, even though you've probably seen it on the thumbnail already. But we have done some improvements to the sides of the base here. We turned it into slightly China wall-ish, to where we've added just some very spaced out extra layer of turrets, as well as something up at the top that you weren't supposed to see yet. I'm just really bad at aiming my camera. So we've got this layer of China wallage moved over here to the main base, and that's going to act as a layer of defense, an additional layer, for the finale episode, which will be basically around 2 weeks from now. And we've got it on the side as well. But the biggest thing that I want to talk about, and what you've seen on the thumbnail and the title of the video, is 360. Not really, 180. This thing, this monstrosity, the ultimate turret tower. Now, the reason why that we're calling this the ultimate turret tower, the reason why we're calling it the ultimate turret tower, the turtle tower, is because each aspect of the tower is done in a way that would counter a specific meta, and we're going to talk about that today. But before I go any further, I have to give credit where credit is due. I was not the engineer of this tower. I didn't build it. My man Havoc built it. He did a fantastic job. I gave him some directions and ideas of what I would like to see done, and he really went ham and built like the whole thing for me. So big thank you to him for really putting in a lot of work and going crazy with the tower. I helped a little bit, but mostly it was like, okay, this is kind of like the things I'd like to see, and he's like, I got you covered, man. So anyway, let's get to it. Now, the first thing you're going to see here are the metal railings around the base of the tower. Obviously, this isn't very defense-oriented. This is mostly here to be so annoying that raiders will largely try to ignore it if at all possible. But this is going to be a very hard tower to ignore, and we're going to go over each of the details here so that you can recreate it for yourselves. So we've got our dinner plate steg right over here for the specific purpose of being really, really heavy because I didn't empty my inventory. But the reason why we have these railings and the fence foundations here is to stop the meta of C4 stego placing or C4 soaker placing, something that I've been doing a lot. You would have to blow up these layers of railing because you're not going to be able to, I think, it just like bugged out. Oh yeah, it's giving me the green here. So I could place it here, but it's obviously too far. Can I actually get it on the floor down there? No. Oh my god, I can. But it's still too far away from the actual base. That's crazy. I didn't know you could throw C4 that far. Oh my god, we're throwing it so far. But it's still too far away from the base to actually damage the thing. They'd have to blow through these, all while getting hit, lit up, from all the layers of turrets going pretty much all the way up. So that's the purpose of these little railings here. It gets close. We could actually stand to add a third layer here if you really wanted to, if you had the space to do it. Actually, I think we might. We've still got the extra structures. Let me pop off this dude. But it prevents the soaker rushing. I mean, you could also do player rushing with shield, but you're going to get eaten alive from all directions. So using this turret tower in corporation with the tiny little pillboxes of annoyance scattered throughout, so you have your main like core destructive turret tower with the pillboxes around, it's going to be very, very hard to bring down a turret tower of this magnitude, especially with the defenses. Now, even more so, if you do manage to break through on the soaker dinos, wave after wave after wave of the little railings, you're met with this. Now, this is entirely honeycombed inside, and all it does is support that core tower there. So we have an entire honeycomb with a generator supporting the core tower, which this is just here for the purpose of preventing people from, again, zerging up on soaker dinos or zerging up on foot with shields just to blast this thing. I'm going to pick up these C4s. It's making me nervous. Just to blast this tower down from the foundations. That's the opposite of what we want to happen, because obviously raid defense, but we've built it so high that we want to ensure that its foundation is structurally sound to where it's not going to get just wrecked down at a moment's notice. Let me pull out my crossbow here. Get out of this maze of... Oh, okay. Get out of one layer of maze of railing. And there we go. The second maze. And we'll talk about what's happening with the rest of this thing. Let me get on a flyer. And we'll go up. My man Havoc did a great job. Oh, God. I'm too fat for this guy, too. Let me drop off some structures. Because I was doing little builds. We'll put it in the gangsta bird. And here you go. We'll just tee all this in. T. Put some of this in here. Put our stuff back on our hotbar so we look like we're actually doing something good. I don't know why I have black pearls on me, but there we go. That ought to make things a little bit better for us. Pteranodon, to the skies, my man. All right, notice how the hatch frames on here are staggered. Like, they're not necessarily all lined up. That's done specifically so turrets don't out line of sight other turrets. We want to maximize the amount of pew that's coming at whatever's face. Another thing that we've done is we've built this, actually, we originally wanted to build it to skybox, but we built it to the limits that is Ragnarok ceiling. This is as high as we could take it on the Ragnarok ceiling. This does not completely eliminate dino drops. It's something else we're going to get into. We're going to fly all the way to skybox and explain why we're okay with this being as high as it is. The reason why it's so tall is because, as you can see, our main base is right over here, right above me. It's actually not rendering in. So someone's coming in for a drop. As they're flying over, they have to fly high enough to where the base won't render in unless their graphic settings are on epic, which is not, let's face it, it's not the case. It's not everybody. So we're trying to think a little bit out of the box, use the game mechanics to our advantage, and if they're flying over for a drop, the base will take longer to render in, if render in at all, depending on their graphical settings. They're not really going to know where to aim or to drop the turtle that high up. Plus, the drop time gives it that much longer if there's C4 on it to get shot and explode in midair. So that's the reason why we built the towers so high. Unfortunately, not as high as Skybox. That was the original goal, but we took it to the Ragnarok build ceiling. And you'll notice that there's something else. Some plant turrets, something that we don't actually use that much of. Because on Purge Day, where structures take more damage, they're quite easily destroyed. Plant X structures will pretty much be wrecked by 1 to 2 flame arrows on Purge Day. So we try not to use that many of them that frequently. But up here at this height, it's meant simply to slow down flyers, aka droppers. They're even irrigated to make sure that they get proper water, because they will, if they're above each other, they will prevent rainwater from irrigating them. So we've even run irrigation all the way up here, just to make sure that these guys will grow fully. They serve one purpose and one purpose only: slow something that's dropping a bomb. So we've got plant turrets staggered, as well as turrets staggered, to the point where they should not outline of sight each other, shooting up, down, or straight out. That's the idea and main design to counter that current meta, at least on the Nerd Parade server, because turtle bombing, stego bombing, it's still quite powerful, quite lucrative, especially with the Purge Day mechanic that we're really rocking and liking. Other than that, we still have the turrets. They're dense on the bottom, as well as towards the top to maximize what they shoot at. You'll notice that they're very sparse towards the center because that's not where the majority of our firepower is going to come from. If something gets into that range, then it's going to be getting hit by the base, and it's kind of like the definition of overkill, even though overkill is not really a word in the Nerd Parade vocabulary, as you can see. And I'm kind of proud of that. So that's something I'm proud of, and something that I subscribe to. No such thing as overkill in the Nerd Parade vocabulary. But this is the idea, the core design behind the ultimate turret tower. You're defending it from the raid meta of seated C4 placing on a soaking dino. You're defending it from the drop meta, as well as you're preventing things from zerging it, player-based or dino-based explosives at the bottom. We're making it as structurally impressive as possible. You can even take it beyond what we've done. If you're looking to recreate to do something like this on your own server or on your own, you can make this we made it 6x6 just for the sake, or I'm sorry, 3x3, just for the sake of, where's that 4x4? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 4x4. Counting is very bad for me, apparently. We made it 4x4 just for the sake of building the tower. You can make it as much as can fit, by as much as can fit. You don't need to stop. That's the beauty of it. Make it as structurally impressive at the bottom, as hard to either zerg or dino soak C4 place your way up to it so that it doesn't come down. If the base comes down, the foundation base comes down, the entire turret tower is going to come down. And when you've built that high up, that's the last thing you want. Pretty cool, right? I'm very excited for the build. I think it's going to be very difficult to counterbalance, especially with the sheer magnitude and the amount of firepower concentrated both at the top and at the bottom. We've done a secondary one. This one is not as secured at the bottom because it's built on the top of our base, mostly just to interrupt or give difficulty / annoy any kind of flyers that's coming again for the C4 dino drop meta. So as creatures fly over the base trying to drop a turtle, let's say they hit it right on top of the tower, this one would be way more expendable than the other tower. So this one, I would kind of be okay with it getting bombed all to hell. That one I'd be sad to see go. That's a big pillar of defense inside of our base. But as we fly down, this will just say I'm a turtle right now. I'm the turtle coming down. As I'm falling with the C4 on me, I'm getting peppered by the turrets, hoping that the C4 will be targeted and it'll explode midair, becoming nothing more than either a soaking nuisance if it's being ridden, or just something that's going to sit there until we can pick it and place C4 on it and return it to sender, which is one of my favorite metas. I love getting turtle bombed to where we can get the turtle and then return it to sender with, because their turrets aren't going to shoot it. It's their own dino, put C4 on it. Awesome. We've done that many times in the past, and it's always very entertaining. But below this tower, we're met with the ARKnet defense system, which is just another layer on top of our base. So instead of ceiling walling it off, we've done the more, I would say, structurally cheaper and placed structure. So instead of one ceiling tile, it covers 4 with the gates. And I think all in all, it's resource-wise cheaper in the long run. But that's it. That's going to do it for the Ultimate Turret Tower Showcase, guys. I hope you like the build. I hope you find it interesting, and I hope to see it in the future. I'd like to see you guys make this on your servers. I think it would be super, super cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing people build like this on the Nerd Parade servers, because we always try to outbuild ourselves every season. And when we get really cool build designs like this, I get super excited about showing them off. And it just kind of, seeing builds like this lights the ARK passion in my heart. This is what I love so much about ARK, is that even though you've seen build after build after build 100 times, crazy builds always manage to put a smile on my face. When I look at something that's been built that's crazy and I'm like, wow, that's impressive, that's a huge portion of ARK for me, and that's stuff I always love to see. But I'm getting a little rambly. It's not Feels Parade, it's Nerd Parade. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked the video enough to smash that thumbs up button for us. Hit it so much that your computer doesn't know what to do, or your phone. Anyway, subscribe to the page for some more cool videos, some more crazy builds, and some more of the final episodes coming to you from Ragnarok Season 5. We're going to be kicking off Ragnarok Season 6 soon. That's right, Season 6 will be on Ragnarok once again. And I'm very much looking forward to starting out fresh and building things up anew. I hope you guys are too. Don't forget to subscribe. Please take care of yourselves, stay awesome, and we'll catch you in the next episode.